Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you haven't had a chance to do so by now, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And to go a step further, I humbly ask that you tap that notification bell. That way, you'll be updated each and every time I'm uploading something new. Also, make sure you're following me on Instagram at YB Speaks. Hello, God. Now, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Okay? We have now entered into the courtroom of truth and justice. All right. Presiding over today's interview, hello, God, is yours truly, the Honorable Judge YB Speaks, truth and server of justice. Okay. I'm the Supreme Court. I'm the Supreme Ruler, hello, God, of this universe, the multi universe, and any universe you can think of, bitch. Hello, God. All right. My rulings are absolute and they are final. All right. Our special guest joining us tonight, honey, has said that he's here to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. So help him God. All right. So without further ado, and again, I apologize for the tardiness, y'all. That's totally on me. Zach was more than on time. It was definitely me. Y'all know me, child. Okay. And I do apologize. And thank you guys for being here tonight. But again, without further ado, the executive producer of Chasing Orlando season 1 and 2, here to get into some things, to speak his truth. Hello, God. So let's give him a warm welcome. Zach, hello, God. How are you?
Hello.
Oh, honey. So I guess we're just going to jump right into it. Okay. We're going to get into the things of all those things that brought us here today. It this week, as you know, and as a lot of people know, has been crazy as hell, just as it relates to the downward spiral that has been, a lot of the issues pertaining to season 2 of Chasing Orlando. More importantly, an obvious disconnect in the most negative ways possible with your, which is crazy because now everybody wants to say he wasn't contractually employed by Chasing Reality, but he had an co-EP title and access to the funds.
Yeah.
So again, I just think that's weird. We'll get to that too as well. Um, your obvious disconnect and a lot of things happening with producer D, also known as Demond. So again, I want to say thank you for joining me today. I know you reached out, you wanted a neutral space to be able to speak your truth and nothing but the truth. I'm just going to cut right into the chase. Now that it's been public and everyone is aware, you have been terminated from Chasing Reality, no longer are going to be affiliated with the platform, at least for right now, from what we can tell. How did you take that news, and how did that make you feel?
Honestly, after working with the brand for so many years now, starting with Chasing Atlanta back in season 2, honestly, it was hurtful. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it was hurtful, but at the same time, it was also kind of, in a sense, a fresh of breath air. I mean, a breath of fresh air. I'm sorry. Just because of the sense of so much that I went through just this season alone that was not publicized. Most of it, even until now, basically, it's even still so much more that wasn't told that I was like, yeah, this is only a piece or a percentage of everything that I had to deal with this season.
Mm. No, I hear you. I hear you. Getting getting the news that you have been giving your pink slip. Do you think that that was a fair decision?
In a sense, yeah, and in a sense, no. I mean, I'm going to take my mistakes. I'm learning from my mistakes. This is my second year as a producer. I'm not saying that's the reason why I made mistakes, but rightfully so, I'm still learning. Even with asking for help during the season, it was like this is partly why some mistakes were made,
Mm,
just because of lack of guidance, I guess you could say.
mm. Now, for me as a viewer and as a reviewer, with both of my lenses on, I could tell that there was a huge disconnect between season 1 and season 2. And now
Exactly.
that I feel like the truth has kind of been revealed onto thee in a way, it's safe to say that that's obviously because of the relationship or lack thereof between you and Demond.
Right.
So
Um,
you would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, season one, it was rightfully so, more so my control. I already had me and one of my friends. We got together. We wrote down what my vision was for season one. I had that in my phone the whole season of what I wanted it to look like. As far as we already picked our cast. What I want to do with this cast to be able to tell their stories, tell how they've overcome their stories. Tell I don't want to just focus on the drama. Like we're
Mm.
all gay. We all have our life stories to talk about. So why not talk about it and tell how we overcome it to help somebody else come overcome it. That was my main goal for season one. Season two, granted, everybody kind of felt more comfortable with what they were doing. It was more so now we need to add more drama, which was not more so what I wanted to do, even for instance, even for like Brian. It was like me and Daria had that debate to where it was like, we don't want to put that out there about him. But yet we had another producer who was so adamant about, oh, we need drama, we need to go ahead and put this out. And I'm like, my thing is, if we're going to put it out, let's talk about how he overcomes the situation. Let's not just drag him through the mud. And I mean, unfortunately, that was still the case to where he was just kind of dragged through the mud with no ending to the story.
So I remember in our initial conversation where you joined that initial Kiki panel that was hosted earlier in the week, um, when you were being asked questions. Um, One of the things that stood out to me the most was you were very, very quiet, and I
Right.
and I kept wondering why. And I think from my perspective, I was like, well, maybe because like he's waiting to see if this thing really grows legs and how it is going to affect everything. Also, with the perception of, especially the narrative that's being thrown around the streets, child, that it's you and only you. How does
Right.
that make you feel? And what percentage of of accountability do you think is Damon and needs to be you as well?
So honestly, with that live, it caught me off guard for one. I started getting text messages about it, and which was the only reason why I knew about it because I'm not really in the blogs like that. So I got the text messages about it, and then when I started listening, people are telling me I need to come up, I need to speak my truth, da da da. Da. So I'm still watching the live, kind of trying to feel the temperature, see what's going on, what's being talked about. I know I saw everything beforehand. It was the fact that when and Dario came on, I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're going public about this now. I'm like, we had already talked about this months ago. So it's like now I guess we're coming public with it, I guess. I mean, even the fact that it was more and more and more information kept being released as the live went on. I'm like, this, for one, this is embarrassing. For two, this was like it was so much public stuff that it was so much stuff that could have been public, but I kept it, in between just us.
Mm.
So it's like even with Demond, like Demond, I wanted him fired. I asked three times, three different occasions rather, for him to be let go, and it was like I kept being told to wait. So
And
it's
you were
like,
being told to
what
wait by
control did I have?
you were being told to wait by Andario.
Yes.
Was there a reason as to why?
The first reason I'm not too certain. I can speak on the second reason, which was when we came back from our cast trip to New Orleans. There was a situation at the airport. We thought we did it in New Orleans, but Damon brought it back up again at the airport. It escalated at the airport to where it became almost physical. And
Mm.
this was between Damon and the cast member. At that time, I and two of my other cast members, we had already left. So we're
Mm.
getting phone calls, we're getting blown up about what's going on. Then Darius calling me because he's also getting those same messages about what happened. And so because it came from several different cast members, it was the fact that, oh, Damon said he quit. He said, fuck chasing Orlando. He's going to delete such and such scenes from this person. It's just like, okay, now I'm embarrassed because why would you go in public and tell somebody this in front of new cast members? And they're like, okay, well, this is the narrative. I piss off a producer. I can get fired. I mean, I can get deleted. Like, what kind of narrative is that to give a cast member?
Mm. Because it is something that I've heard from several sources of mine that have stated that the reason why all of this is basically happening is because Demand was trying to put you in situations that would make you look like a fool to Andario and replace you with him as EP for future Chasing Orlando. How do you feel about that?
I mean, so Demond swears up and down he was never trying to take over chasing Orlando or take my position over chasing Orlando. I would say that. And I feel like that was stated several times for a specific reason. Like,
Mm.
granted, if I'm fired, yeah, you're not taking Chasing Orlando over from me, but you're just taking your own, you're taking it over for yourself at this point. So yeah, you're probably right that you're not taking it from me. But if I'm fired, you're not taking, yeah, you're not taking it from me.
Mm.
So I mean, that does seem as though that was the overall goal.
Because as I look around and I use my eyes and my sense of discernment, I could kind of deduce that as well. It seems that way, especially now. And I want to say this, and I'm going to be as respectful as possible. And this is no slight at all to TTB, but it goes to overall professionalism as it relates to chasing reality and the history there. So, my thing is this: there's a conflict of interest when you have someone who is your co editor for this, you're purview to all kinds of information. And
Mm-hmm.
when you're hosting an interview with Damon, I think it's only right that you have both sides to the story. Because when
Exactly.
I saw that video, it seemed very one sided. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's right that people have this envelops both of y'all. Technically, in Dario as well, because there were a lot of things that were hinted towards from Andario when I saw a lot of those lives play back and really like got a lot of different receipts. It made me really feel like Andario knows more than what he let on in that live that we did. And I again, this is why I wanted to provide the opportunity for you as well. And I'm glad you reached out. That way we can really get to the truth of the matter.
Okay.
When we talk about Damon officially, actually, now that we know that he wasn't actually employed by Chase in reality, he should have never had the co EP, on there as well, because again, you're not employed. But the people are trying to utilize that as a way to put the blame solely on you. How do you feel about that?
So honestly, even when it comes to Damon, initially first season, I think he's mentioned the fact that I never wanted him to, be a producer. Rightfully so. It's like you're at the time where my camera person. So it's like, granted, you are helping a lot first season when you came back. Like we had already got through halfway through the season, and you came back, and now you're kind of helping out more so, more so. Okay, cool. I'm still trying to feel you out, trying to see like if you're a good fit, like if this is what you should like, what role I want to give you within Chasing Reality. I mean, Chasing Orlando. I'm sorry.
Mm.
So that was the first season. It was second season more so to where I think I asked Indario like, can you give him access to something like to upload, be able to upload a file or something. At that moment, that's when I found out he was made producer. But then my thing is at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, did he sign a contract? Like, is he hired under you? Is he hired under me? Like, I had no guidance on how the procedure works.
And why weren't you in that conversation? Because if he's going to be under you, aren't shouldn't you be part of that discussion or even ask your opinion if he should be an EP?
Yes, that's correct. Even forwarding to this season when he became EP, and there was knowledge of TTB becoming a producer as well. The cast had been asking me questions because there was already a video leaked by TTB, and the cast was already uncomfortable because they're like, if he's leaking our information, why is he a producer? And I'm like, yeah, I feel the same way. Like again, I see it in the credits, and that's when I find out. So
That's what I call in the conflict of interest.
Right. So even with that, there was one point to where, me being me, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and send my cast an email, let them know who their executive producer is, who their well, both of their executive producers are. I sent it in our group chat for Chase and Orlando. I was told don't send that out. And I'm just like, why when this is questions that the cast has? This is questions that I even have that I don't understand. I don't know like how did this happen? When did this happen? Like
For those, I'm gonna just share it because, like I said, we're at the end of the road, and girl, we don't care about holding what we need to hold. The video in question was a video of Ayo and Max intertwined in flames of passion. Mhm. Real quick, shout out to Chloe, honey. She sponsors the blogs, honey. Hello, God. Shout out to Chloe Von Dutch for the $100 super chat. Thank you so much, Boo. Really appreciate it. Shout out to that, and shout out to everybody coming through. There will not be. I want to answer Reese's question from earlier. There will not be. I won't be sharing the link. Nobody will be coming up. This is a complete one-on-one situation. I want to provide, the environment needed, required, and desired for Zach to speak his truth. We already understand that, you know, Zach can get overwhelmed with overwhelming personalities. And speaking to that, going into that, do you feel like because of your docile demeanor that it was easy for someone like Damon to come in with his ruly personality and kind of take over things?
Honestly, yes. Because there were several instances to where I kept reiterating certain things, like even with as far as the money being spent, I kept saying on several occasions, "Let me know what's being spent." That way, whenever the money is out, at least I know the money is gone, and whatever has to come out of pocket is coming out of my pocket. So, I
And that's
mean,
another thing
that
I want people to understand as well. When it comes down to like really seeing the forest through the trees, I really do feel like Damon, aka Platypus Face, has been making his rounds to kind of like push this narrative and throw Zach under the bus. Yes, we all have agreed that they share, hello God, faults in a lot of the situations for this season, but this is nowhere near a one-sided ordeal. I have to talk about the issue when it comes to intent. So, and also how we have to hold Dario's feet to the fire. So, this is my thing. When I look back at that live that we all were a part of, shout out to that legendary live, down to the Kiki panel, Harviana, Chloe, the girls, and everybody joining in and giving their thoughts and opinions, honey. Um, but the fact remains, y'all have been a part of Chasing Reality for quite some time, right? You and Damon, in some aspect.
well, more so me. Like again, I've been doing it since season 2 of Chasing Atlanta. So the mind this was hit.
Heard his name come up in the past, back in the day. I don't know if there's another
I,
Demon or if this is the Demon that there might be another one I'm not sure of, but I've heard his name.
it might
Quite
have been a cast member with a similar name, but I mean, I could be wrong. He could have played a part before. I don't know, but I don't believe so. 'Cause I believe this is Andario's first time really being introduced to him.
and I think too, if we talk about professionalism and again, proper communication within a business, you would think that what he would know,
Right.
and everybody should know. So
Right.
when we get into actuals and factuals, because I do have here with me a several copies of the bank account. Hello,
Oh.
guys. And it's
Okay.
killing me because back in June, hold on, my bad. Where are we at here? Okay. June 12th is when the new account deposit took place in the amount of $12,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there were some other transfers here and there, dividing up that money amongst the checking account and the savings account. So the
Okay.
issue that I'm having here is that if everyone knows that the EP is basically supposed to be the one to do what needs to be done with the funds or the sponsorships, you know that you're supposed to reach out to Andario when sponsorships are in tow and he has a certain fee that's required of him,
Right.
right? Why? Again, my argument goes to intent. Damon, you have no affiliation with this brand other than basically being a greeter during Christmas time at Walmart, bitch, being a volunteer. And why are you creating a bank account? Why are you the one managing the funds? So, and we're talking about a check that was given in the early portion of June. So, between June and the last statement I have here is at the end of August when all the money was basically used up. Um, there was enough time for Andario to step in and say, "Hey, bitch, where's my money?"
Right.
Even after the third installment of Pineapple Healthcare sponsorship in the shows, ding, 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 where's my money? So I know me and you had a conversation. I would like you to bring that conversation to the forefront and speak on the fact that everyone here kind of was aware before things kind of trickled down into a shit show.
Yeah. I mean, going back to I think Damon referenced the fact that he didn't know Andario was supposed to get his money until later down the line, which isn't true. This was well before the cash trip. You knew Andario was supposed to get his $600, which was 5% of the total amount. Um, So I mean, it was well known before, and everybody kept saying, "Well, if you knew, why didn't you send the money?" Great question. It's like even with me, I thought from what I was told, rather in text messages, production had $1,500 left over for the reunion. Okay, cash trip is over. We have no money. We have no money even before we left for the. We had no. Let me take that back. We had $300 left before we went on that cash trip.
Mm.
Even that point, he was like, Cass has to go ahead and pay for their transportation. We'll cover the brunch because when we first get there, the Airbnb isn't going to be ready. I'm like, no, that makes no sense. Go ahead and cancel the brunch. We need to go ahead and pay for transportation at least. Like, because like it's kind of crazy for to make everybody pay for their own Uber from the airport. And I know it's not cheap because I've already been to New Orleans. I already paid for an Uber from the airport to a hotel. I already know that's not cheap. So why would we add that extra expense to the whole cast?
So, was there ever a conversation that Andario had with you and Damon concerning the funds? Because again, he said it. There's terms and conditions as it relates to sponsorships that you guys are supposed to basically deposit whatever check into the Chasing Reality bank account provided by Bank of America. And again, we're seeing the moment this account was even created, it's opened all the way up until August, June to August. The question that I would have is, why isn't there any communication about, okay, that money, where's my money at? Why isn't it in the Chasing account?
Wait, YB, one quick question. With that document you have, right, does it show a name on it?
Oh yeah,
Are you able to show that name?
I won't show the name because it has other sensitive information. But I will say that the account owner is solely Damon Marley.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But
So,
back to your question,
but I
what was
think
it one more
one
time?
one of the things people would like to know is, as the EP, the boss, and the fact that he has no kind of professional official affiliation with the platform, why was he able to be the one to open the bank account and control the funds?
The question is, why was he even able to want to get the check written in his name? That's the first question because from what I'm told, as of recently, which was like this week, I found that the check was originally written in Chasing Reality's name. I
Mm.
heard once had to be rewritten, he then told them no, write it in my name. Well, his name rather, which is Damon. And I'm just like, okay, so why would he even do that if it was already in Chasing Reality's name? Like that makes no sense. Especially even when I have text messages stating, I'm telling you, this check needs to be written in either Chasing Reality's name or my name. Especially when it comes to tax documentation, like only my name was on the 1099, not yours.
So how was he, by you again being the leader here, how was he able to usurp the throne in such a way?
Honestly, honestly, again, I'm not even too certain to be honest. Because I guess even with me, like with the sponsorship, granted, I knew we were getting a sponsorship, okay, but it was just even in my mind, I'm not thinking well, whose name was on the check. But something just randomly told me when they asked him whose name was on the check. That's when I found out. Then it was written in his name. He didn't even tell me whose name was written in, nothing like that.
But my again, I have to play. I have to be honest here.
Right,
I'm looking at this situation, and you are indeed the boss.
right.
How was he able to even go about getting a sponsorship in the name of Chasing or not, or check? How was he able to get away with all of that, including getting a bank account with his name only on it, micromanaging the funds with you?
So initially, he did type up the letter to get the sponsorship. We had the conversation to where he was like, "I want to use it for the cast trip." I'm like, "Okay, cool, whatever." I then relate the information over to Daria, and Daria was like, "Why do you all need $12,000 for a cast trip?" I'm like, "Again, this is my first year doing a cast trip. I don't know how much is needed for a cast trip, so this is me already in the blind." So the mom was like, he wrote the letter. Him and Daria had been talking, discussing, the technical matters of it. As far as when it got sent over, I got copied in the email that was sent over to Pineapple Healthcare. So I saw all that information. Indeed, yes. Again, even as far as in writing the check, it was just last minute thinking on me as far as whose name is this going to be under. Like I'm pretty much already thinking it's going to be in Chase's name, because again, this is Chasing sending a document requesting this amount of money.
Mm. Oh, so there was a request for a certain amount.
Right. We had requested a certain amount initially. They was like, we can't do that amount, but we can do this amount,
Mm.
which was the $12,000. So
Okay. As I look through this document, me and you had a conversation. There are a lot of Apple Cash is sent, and that's to you, correct?
as long as I believe I forget the exact amount. I mean, I have the screenshots of what was sent to me. I can send that to you if need be, to validate everything that I purchased. So
Okay, because there's not much, we talked about this privately too, though. There's not much that I can really do with these bank statements, just on the fact that I have no actual receipts.
right,
Because it'd be different if everything that was purchased was done through this account. But the thing
right,
that I find very, interesting is that there's a lot of moving around of the funds for me. Um, all I can tell from this, the girls love wine and spirits, bitch. The girls love an old nasty Papa John's, honey.
it did not mean.
The girls love an old nasty piece of what is that? Steak and shake, bitch. The girls like to eat.
You said it, not me.
The girls like to eat. I will say here for to clear things up, there are once they got these funds, I will say this, they did right by hurrying. The trip wasn't until August, correct?
Correct.
So airline tickets and Airbnbs were purchased pretty much within the same week the check was received and deposited into the account. So at least we were forward thinking with business. But there is something here that I would like to discuss. On this document that I have, it reports 3 Airbnb purchases. I'm hearing that there were 4 properties in total. Why isn't that one on this on charged on this account?
So let's go ahead and start from the beginning with that. Initially, I told Damon I wanted one house. Make it easy for cast and production. Why would we be running from house to house to try to film? We all need to be in just one house. Make it plain and simple. Okay, cool. Time goes by. Um, time goes by, and mind you, at this time we have a drive. We have a file in our drive to where all the receipts are updated. So
Oh, I
I
just
checked.
want to be. I'm sorry to cut you off.
uh
Marlo's trying to say that there was only 3 houses, but I
I'm
do
getting
have it.
there. I'm getting there.
Okay, okay.
So I'm looking through the drive and looking at the receipts. I see 4 houses. I'm like, okay, why do we have 4 houses? Why are they already paid for one? And why did we have 4 houses? This was never talked about to me. We talked about one house. So then he says, yeah, there was two for cast, two for production. I'm like, okay, why do we still need 4 houses? That does not add up. Um, so then, as time came closer to the cast trip, we've already run out of money. I'm like, something has to give. We have no money for the cast excursions. We have something has to give. So he's like, okay, I'll go ahead and cancel one of them. Mind you, initially when I found out about the 4 houses, he's like, they're non-refundable. And I'm like, even when I looked online, the house that I initially wanted was still available. I told Dario, this house is still available. Why did he go ahead and book 4 other houses? So, we had a whole conversation then. Um, for it to the cast trip, he said he went ahead and canceled one of them. I'm like, I thought you said it was non-refundable. He was like, oh, it was booked through somebody else. We only have 3 now. Okay, cool. Going fast forward, that was basically how we ended up with the 3. Even then, I still felt like that was too much.
Because I do feel like you guys probably could have saved yourself some coins by just getting one nice Airbnb and
Exactly.
doing what you guys need to do.
Because when I tell you, me running from house to house, we're filming in 2 different houses. That was stressful. You got to think when you're filming in 2 different scenarios. Now you got to adjust for whatever lighting, whatever seating. All of that information goes into it.
And speaking of like lighting and all that other stuff, I don't see not one single purchase in these statements for equipment. Now, someone could argue that that's what a lot of these cash withdrawals are for. And again, I don't have those receipts. I just have the bank transactions. I don't have those receipts to, correlate with what I have here. So I can't really say that I know or don't know if equipment was purchased. But from your knowledge, was equipment purchased for this
Yes.
season?
So go ahead and clear up that rumor that's being said. I said I would never send no money. That's not clear. As far as money being sent to me within the transactions that I have via Apple Cash, I can show all those transactions. I can rectify all those transactions. Like, you sent me money, yes, for equipment. Mind you, you're not just going to randomly send me. If you're not trusting me with money, as you say, you're not just going to randomly send me money. So of course, I showed every receipt to where I had already purchased what I needed. You just reimbursed me at that time. So I purchased hard drive. I purchased lights to go into the cameras to our phones, different things like that. A lot of different. I purchased a mic. I wanted 10 mics for each cast member. Why I only got one, I don't even know. I stressed that to Ndari as well. I told him I wanted 10 mics. Why did this man only buy one? He said, oh, we didn't have all the money at the time. When we get reimbursed from the cast, we can go ahead and get more mics. Well, that never happened.
Hmm. I'm sorry, I'm trying to answer a question. There's a lot of moving around of the money, even in small amounts. I don't know if he was mixing his personal funds with this money either.
I wouldn't
To
be
be
able to
honest.
answer that because, again, I was never sent those documents from him.
So, do you have the absolute total of the money that he sent you that you say that you utilized for the betterment of the season?
I mean, I can pull up my Apple transaction and we can calculate it. Like, that's no biggie at all. Give me like a couple of minutes here.
And did you personally benefit financially from this $12,000?
I wish I would have. Like, I as much money as I put out for that for a season to benefit. Like last year, we can look at my 1099. I spent way more money than I ever made. Like even just from the show itself. If we're being clear, like me being executive producer for a show is not about the money. Like I said in the beginning, this is more so me having an opportunity to allow other people to tell their stories.
Mm. Now, I have a question for you. I really wasn't going to get into this question, but because at the time I only had one source that really wasn't verifiable, but then I ended up getting two other sources that were verifiable. Now,
Oh,
this goes into accountability and taking ownership. Maybe there's an explanation that is beyond, but from the scope of the tea that was given to me, I have no choice but to, I don't want to create my own narrative because, again, maybe you have an explanation. It
okay.
was being said that one of these houses that were purchased with the $12,000 was utilized by you in a way of
Go ahead and speak on it. Like you don't have to try to
child. They
fancy
say
it.
they say you had a well-known porn star that you were creating content with.
Really. I wish I had time to create content, but again, here I am. So this is how the story went in regards to me having a content creator in the other house.
So that
Uh,
is true.
yes, that is true. I'm not even
You
going to
had a
deny that.
content
Like,
creator in the
well,
house.
my cast knew that was person was there. Like, we had to wait for our Airbnb to open, so like everybody knew that was nothing to hide.
Okay.
But so even to reference that fact, as far as him being there, I told them on this even before we left on the cast trip. I said I'm going to go ahead and rent out part of my room so that way we can have money for the excursion. Because again, at that time we had no more money. So again,
Okay.
this was in text messages. Like for him to even let that speculate around, like no, come on. If anything,
Now,
go
now
ahead.
the reason I can believe that is because the person that they said was the porn star was
Hmm.
someone that we've known and loved for many, many, many moons, and we've got our rocks off, honey. Our 9 booty holes have been
Yeah,
wet
yeah, they're on my
over and
Instagram.
over and
Like,
over
come on,
again by this
there's nothing to
person.
hide.
So I know that he, and he's very business savvy too. I've heard a lot about him in the streets.
Hmm.
So I guess that is believable. Now I have a question. By the fact that the Airbnbs were purchased with the sponsorship funds, and
Hmm.
you utilizing your Airbnb for other things, people would have something to say about that. Like that's
Of
not.
course, they had that to say in the very beginning when the cast even found out he was there.
Mm.
So, I mean,
Can
again,
we
that was just me trying to think of how can I come up with this money for an excursion because again, that's not cheap when you're paying for cast and production.
so okay. Now, when it comes down to excursions, like, we've had conversations in the web reality world for a long time when it comes down to like group activities. who should be the ones paying. And for a second season, even with the sponsorship, I still do believe that it is the cast's responsibility to chip in and do what they got to do. But so by you telling me that with excursions and money issues, you've already said it earlier that the funds were actually depleted before y'all even got to this trip.
Right.
So, and I guess another question to that is if the trip was all paid for and everything was basically utilized from the $12,000, why was the cast charged money?
Again, that's the mom trying to compensate the money for the reunion, basically, from what I'm being told. For the reunion and for Indario to get his money, from what I'm being told.
Mm.
I mean, yeah.
Is it okay if I name that person, or you don't want me to name that person, the porn star?
I don't care.
It's Javon, right?
Giovanni, I'm sorry.
Giovanni, honey, y'all remember him, honey? I loved him back in the day, child. With may his old lover rest in peace, child. City Boy. I used to have that's way back in the day for the girls that was getting their nuts off early in this life, honey. But that's why I kind of believe the business aspect, because Giovanni's never been on that bullshit in the industry. He's always been about his coins. So, shout out to Giovanni, honey, for showing love and spreading cheeks and paying that bill. They doing what you got to do, girl. I know that's right. Um, yeah, again, I can't really go into too much when it comes down to this. Again, I really want people to see the forest through the trees when it comes down to these transactions. There's a lot of moving of coin. Again, there were the only things that I can think of related to this business, and I don't speak bank transaction, girl, so I don't know what a lot of this other stuff is. But the trip was paid, Airbnbs were paid. That fourth one is not in here. Um, I don't know.
Right. He
Uh,
did say he got refunded for that one, which was partially where the money for the Sprinter van that we rented went towards.
But my thing is, why are we even renting a Splinter van? Y'all are literally in the heart of the situation, right?
But still, it was still a good little drive from the airport to our Airbnb, though. So it's like, yeah, I'm definitely. And even in the beginning, like, I wanted us to have a vehicle the whole weekend because I'm like, it's going to be hot in New Orleans. So I'm like, walk. I mean, granted, we still ended up walking. It wasn't that bad, but I'm just like, I know me. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be walking everywhere.
Were you able to tally up those transactions?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me
No,
see.
you're good. I just want to provide some type of peace to the people.
Right. I mean,
And I
sorry.
guess when you really look at it on the grand scale, 12,000 really isn't a lot of money.
Right. And I'm like, Charlie, you need my Amazon transactions too?
Well, I don't even need them. I just want to know what that dollar amount was as a total from what you received from that 12,000 to that you said that you actually put towards um the season.
And I mean, honestly, these Apple transactions are not going to cover everything because even as far as Andre was leaving. Me and Andre talking, we are saying our goodbyes. He was like, I'm waiting on my Uber. And I'm just like, wait a minute, you paid for your own Uber? He was like, yeah, Demond asked me to pay for my Uber. I'm like, no. If we pay for you to be here, that doesn't make sense for you to be paying for your own Uber. So I went ahead out of
And,
my own pocket and covered his Uber.
and if I can be honest, after watching the finale episode, like I love Andre. Me and Andre have a cute little, banter. We really live for one another. But he was not needed, required, nor desired. Y'all could have saved y'all money on that.
My only thing, again, I love Andre. My only thing is I wish we would have had more people that better equipment. I would say, because most of the time, most of those scenes were on iPhones and
I could
a
tell.
1080p camera.
So
And that was another question I asked as well. Even when I found out we have help coming, I said I need to know what equipment they have. I never got that information.
But you know why a lot of the people are going to come down on you though, because as the leader of the pack, you're more purview to information. You should have more access. And then we're talking about someone who's not an official employee of the platform, and he's just able to get away with it. But it was stated to me that even through this entire process, Dario was aware of all of this.
Yes.
So I want to ask you that. How do you feel that not only were you terminated, your credibility has been drawn into question. People are saying that you're worse than Todd Tucker, child scheming things. Um, what does that truth look like for you on that end when it comes down to Damon and Andario basically throwing you completely under this bus?
Honestly, on the previous live earlier this week, I had to take time and kind of, reflect on what actually took place. I'm just like, it's also suspect and like just kind of coincidental timing that when it happened and what took place. And I'm just like, okay, like was I set up? Like what just really took place? And I mean, so many different people have so many different opinions, and I'm like, I don't know what to believe at this point because I was told to go up. That's the honest truth. I wouldn't have went up at all. Granted, I was sent the live. I'm watching it, but I'm just like, for one, I'm already stopped and embarrassed. Like, are we really on live talking about this when it's already, for one, been discussed? We've already had phone conversations, conference calls about this. So it's like now we're talking about this in public, and I'm like, something is just it's just weird.
So you're saying that all three of y'all had conference calls about the very situation we had to live about?
Yes, because that's why you would hear Demond say we've already talked about this, and he's honestly right. We've talked about it. Like, why would it just come out now? That doesn't make like the money is spent. Why would it just come out now?
And then Dario's acting as if he wasn't aware of these things?
I mean, that's if that's what y'all took from the live, then that's what it seemed as though because there were questions that were being asked that was like we've already talked about this. One quick before I get sidetracked again,
Mm-hmm.
um, $1,469.
That's all you've received from that 12,000.
Yes, and that went to equipment.
And all
I
of
can't remember
those
it was like
receipts,
$680 something dollars. What happened?
and all of those receipts are accounted for and sent in to Andario already.
Yes, they were uploaded to the drive.
I wonder what Andario got to say with all these food purchases. And
Again,
the food purchases ain't they're not big like you were providing food for the group. This is some personal shit.
well, this is new knowledge to me. Again, new knowledge.
The girls love their drink. That $26 is definitely a bottle of some cheap ass liquor. Papa John's. Yeah, these really don't do much for me in that. But if so, you're saying that your coins have all been accounted for, they've been sent in. So do you? So
And
so to be very
not to
clear,
cut you off, I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but
no, go
even
ahead.
there was even more money I put out that's not even accounted for. Rightfully so, I'm the executive producer, but even for that mystery murder game, I paid $100 for that person to write that game for me, and they strategized it towards each cast member. So that's why the cast felt. Granted, I'm like, I don't know how they're going to take it. I don't know if they're going to like it. I gave it to them the day of. They loved it. They distillery at the distillery, they're already playing their characters. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're really feeling this. It was a great turnout. So I mean, like, I'm glad it turned out like that. I'm glad it happened how it happened. But I've been spending money all year, like, so just to try to make it seem like I'm stealing money is kind of crazy. Like even Ayo's photo shoot, I did Ayo's photo shoot for free. If I wanted to steal money, wouldn't I have not charged Ayo for that photo shoot? Ayo paid for the studio, yes. But what makes sense would it make for me to steal money if I'm doing a free photo shoot?
Mm. I just feel like there needs to be, an accountability on all fronts. I haven't really heard Damon take full accountability for anything. I think from the jump, you were the first person to say that, you take ownership and blame for everything. And I will say this, and I had this discussion recently on a video I did. When it comes down to professionalism, again, guys, people that are in my shoes, like myself, Harviana, any TTB, we ask the questions, right?
Okay.
It is up to y'all to decide if you're going to answer these questions. When you start to answer these questions, you kind of get in, you're getting into it now. And
Mm-hmm.
what ends up happening is things like that live we did, things start coming to light. Truth begins to be revealed onto D in a way that makes everyone look crazy as fuck, very unprofessional, and just very childlike. And one thing that really gets me is that, I really be wanting to have people's back, even if I don't see it for them. But it
Right.
sounds like to me, Andario was heavily aware of a lot of things before it even got to the point where we're at now. So I think it start again when you're boss shit. You really have to really keep your eyes on the prize, especially if it's your baby. Now I
Right.
understand you are entrusting people like yourself and Damon. Well, obviously not Damon because he technically didn't work for the girl. You're putting your trust in people to make it happen for you. That's true. But again, right after that third installment of Pineapple Healthcare sponsorship in an episode, ding, 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 the money was deposited 6/21/2025. It goes all the way up into after the cast trip. So I'm just wanting to know, like, where is that communication to say, hey, what the fuck? Or if he was cool, let's just say, for instance, they said, well, we didn't want Zach to have access of the funds. We're gonna just let Damon do it because that's what it's sounding like to me. Is that you made Dendario aware that this is what Damon was doing, and it was allowed to stand. Because if it wasn't allowed to stand, we would have seen this account being closed or transferring or Zellwire of the full amount of the 12,000.
We would
But
have
we
seen the show being paused as well. Like, it's a lot that could, from what I hear now, that could have happened.
mm. Because that's what kind of bothers me the most about this is that it's not just one person, it's everybody. And if you're coming up on a live, and I do believe that in the moment I genuinely thought that he was bamboozled and hoodwinked, but from the conversation that we're having, just the things that even Platypus Face was saying to Andario, like, you remember we talked, you remember, and then Dario letting you know, hey, remember we talked about this and y'all weren't getting into the details. But it just really made me think. So you were aware of a lot of the fool la la that we're talking about, but then at the same time, you're turning around publicly in front of us and acting like you weren't aware of these things. We need it all to make sense.
Right.
So again, it goes back to being professional. It goes back to just following the rules. And
I think that word is used so loosely, though, as far as professional. Like, if you were such a professional, you would have never came into a live calling supposedly your boss all kind of names, calling them this, that, going off on other people who are just asking questions doing their job. You saw how I came in, calm as ever, just answering whatever questions I asked me from what I know. So the fact that you even came in that hot already threw me off and shocked me as well. So now I'm like, well, damn, what's really going on? Like, and then mind you, you're texting me. The first live I did, I'm getting a text and say, "Oh, you really talking about me like that on live? Like we're supposed to be cool." And I'm just like, but then y'all immediately said he's already said we're not cool on another live. So I'm like, well, did I lie? Like, why are you texting me every time I go live? The second last time I went live, you're texting me again, or you're talking about the help. Like, come on, what? I've never texted you anytime you went live. So why are you texting me? I don't even know every time you went on one of these podcasts.
it's giving. I want to be in control of the narrative. I want to, say what I want to say because I'm trying to throw you under the bus. It's given that to me. And I just think too, like if I was a volunteer worker, right, I would not be taking it upon myself to act as if I am moving in an official capacity of a business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no. And if I were in Dario, I would also be showing more hurt towards the fact that, girl, if you're 30% of 12,000 is what, like 33,000 something or whatever, like I'd be kind of like, girl, I need my money. I'd be
Wait,
a little
where's
bit more
30%
depressed.
coming in at? That's what I'm lost. I heard that before. And I'm like, where is that coming in at?
What's that?
30%.
So apparently during that live, and Dario explained like what his fee is when it comes to sponsorships. If you guys bring us, if any one of his producers bring sponsorships to the program, he is deserved. I don't know what I don't think did he say 30%? I don't know. He said he requires a percentage of sponsorships brought to the platform. Are you aware of that?
Yes, and mind you, I asked that question because mind you, we already knew we had the money. So even the money asked me like, what amount should we give him? I'm like, I really don't know. Like, I don't want to, lowball him or give him like, embarrass, like be all like, this is all they gave me out of that. So I asked him, how much should we give you in regards to this? He said 5%. I'm said, okay, cool, no problem.
So why didn't he never get his money?
That's a question you have to ask Damon. Because I told Damon on several occasions, and Dario needs his money. I even tried
So,
myself again, as I mentioned, to find other ways to get him his money.
so the whole time Andario knew you didn't have access to this account, you didn't start the account, you weren't even the person who initiated the sponsorship request. It seems to me that technically Andario should have just been corresponding with D about the situation. Because if him and D were having backdoor conversations about the sponsorship and all the things, why is everyone upset with you about funds being misappropriated or things like that happening? It just makes no sense to me.
Right. And again, you're executive producer, so I'm like, you're a producer, I'm sorry, at this time. So it's like, I mean, I didn't give you that title, so at this time, I'm guessing you're employed as, just like I am. Because I never signed a contract, never signed anything saying you're a producer. That was just automatically put into a screen.
So,
I don't know if that's the way it works. Again, I'm not in this realm to say, oh, yeah, this is how this normally goes. I don't know, but it's just that's what happens to me.
so really, it was Andario that took over your season with his delegating of responsibility, giving it out to Damon. So I want to ask this question because I think it's a fair question because you did admit that you did lack in a lot of areas when it came to this season.
Right.
And do you think that maybe Andario moved in such a way because he felt that you couldn't step up to the plate?
I don't believe that would be true because, again, I did a first season by myself with no issue.
Hmm.
It's just now that we add you into the picture, now there's a bunch of complicated issues. Like when I say I went through so much hell for the last 6 months, that since we got the money, basically, I went through so much hell. Like I have, you look through our conversation and text messages, it's like you can see we're arguing back and forth. You're telling me, oh, I don't need this, I don't need that. I'm a photographer, I should have this. You're not a photographer, so how can you tell me what I need? Like we've
Hmm.
had all these type of conversations, and I'm just like, why am I even wasting my time arguing with you about certain things like this?
Hmm.
But again, what can I do? You have control of the money. Even if I fire you, from what I know at that moment, if I fire you, you can just do anything you want with the money. But I wish I would have known I could have fired you. I wish I would have known I could have sued you for the money. I wish I would have known. But again, I was not privy to that information until after I had basically got terminated.
And people are asking if Damon is terminated. I just wonder how can we terminate someone who was never in an official capacity for chasing reality, but allowed to move in such a way by Boston CEO.
I mean, you heard that same live I heard. It sounds very calculated, very much, oh, I'll be back type of situation.
Yeah.
Don't know in what capacity, but it sounds very much so like I'll be back in some type of way.
So this has been said a couple of times. I just saw it again in the chat. Whose idea was it to open the account in Damon's name,
To
or
open it in
was
the
there?
that was his idea. Because if we're going to open an account, why not add both of our names to it? Again, my name is on the 1099. Like even with us opening an account, my intentions were add my name. I'll go ahead and transfer it to Chasing since you don't want to transfer it. You don't want nobody else to have control over it because you feel as though, oh, I sent the sponsorship, I should have control over it. No, that's not how this works.
Real quick, so while this debacle about a new account is going on, was Andario aware of this?
Yes.
So again, he said that his own terms and conditions say that any sponsorship money needs to be deposited into the Chasing Reality account. Why
Again,
wasn't why are we even having a conversation about a separate bank account when all they had to do was sign over the check to Chasing Reality and deposit it in their account?
exactly. And of course, I heard that same thing Dario said on the live, which kind of contradicted what Damon said on another live when you're saying, oh, me and Dario had a conversation without Zach, and we just didn't want to include Zach in it. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense if Dario is saying the money should have been going to Chasing.
Well, I heard a little birdie told me that the reason that might be is because she didn't want to pay the taxes under the LLC, so she allowed Damon to have the coins. That way, they wouldn't have to pay taxes. I don't
I
know if
mean, I don't know anything about that, so.
mm. And that could be the reason why the name change on the check. Because think about it, if I'm in Dario and I'm aware that there's a name change on a check that's supposed to go into our business account, off rip, I'm mad as hell and you're fired.
Mm. And I
Period.
mean, the question was like, again, I tried so many times and I kept being told to wait, especially after that cash trip when you embarrassed our brand in the airport, in a public place. I could see if it's something in private, but you're in a public place at an airport about to get in a fight with a cast member saying, fuck chasing, you're going to delete this person's scenes. Like, come on now, let's be real. At that point, even Indaria at that time agreed he needs to be let go. He said, after you get the files from the cast trip, go ahead, let me know, and I'll go ahead and let him go. That's questionable right there, but I'm gonna leave that alone. My thing is, okay, we have the files. Let's go ahead and let him go. I'm told, oh, you're done filming now. Might as well just wait till the season is over.
So it seems as if Damon has been exhibiting, because I've got a lot more tea about her, honey. They say she loves to try to fight the cast. She had it out with one of our favorite cast members of this season,
Oh,
not once but on two occasions. She's
oh,
out here, huh?
are you referring to?
They say Damon was out here was about to get into a fight with Fabio.
That well, from what I know, that almost happened at the Airbnb, which is why I think in the beginning, me and Fabio were kind of to the side having a conversation. Trying to I was trying to hear him out, trying to make sure he's heard, explain what's going on, what he's dealing with. Because even so, mind you, going back to the Airbnb, um, I ran up to the Airbnb to go ahead and get situated, try to get B-roll, things like that. The cast had already kind of ran in. Marlo came running in. She was like, I'm pissed off. From what I heard, her and the Mun had got into it in the Sprinter when we were outside the Airbnb. Next thing I know, we get upstairs. Fabio was trying to talk to Damon, whatever issue they had. The mom kind of was very dismissive. So I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Like, we need to kind of get a hold of this. Like, y'all, we don't need to be doing this right now. We just got here. So me and the Fabio, we're having a conversation. He's telling me how he feels, what's going on. And I'm hearing him out rightfully so. I'm not just walking away. And I mean, that happened on several occasions on that cast trip. The cast is expressing how they feel, especially even when it came down to the money. Here we are at a table, Ayo and Fabio. They're telling us, it was me, Damon, and Andre. We're sitting at the table. They're expressing how they feel. Cool, y'all. I don't mind hearing y'all out. I want to hear y'all point of view so we can resolve whatever issues y'all have. Here we are, me and Andre. We're sitting at the table. Damon has walked off. He don't want to hear it. And me and Andre looking at each other like, why would you walk off? Like, it doesn't make sense. Especially Andre. Why is Andre sitting here? He's hearing them out and he shouldn't even be here, but he's willing to sit here and hear them out. You're not even willing to do that. You're trying to put all the on me and Andre, who is not even supposed to be a part of this. Well, I won't say supposed to be a part of this, but shouldn't be hearing all of this. So I mean, again, that's just you're on mute if you're talking to me.
Sorry, y'all. I just lost the ability to see the chat. I'm gonna have to look at it from my phone for some reason. I don't know why that's happening. What is going on? Okay, whatever. Shout out to the super chat, honey. Thank you so much, Bella the Dawn. Shout out to you. We appreciate your contribution to the platform, honey, as we serve truth and justice. Um, and yeah, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard for me to. Again, that's why I'm glad we're here and we're able to have this open dialogue with one another, just to give you an opportunity and the chance to speak your piece. Um, so again, just to make the record clear, there is on your end, there is obviously no type of misappropriation of funding. Everything you purchased was for legitimate purposes for this season, and all receipts from your end have been turned in, verified, and not considered fraudulent.
Right.
Correct?
If I need to submit those again, if I need to post them, whatever, I still have that proof.
Are you aware? Does Damon still have an association with Chasing Reality as well, or is his fate as yours is?
Honestly, I don't know.
I feel like it definitely
And my
should be
conversation letter that
because
was
feel like there needs to be a little bit more accountability when it comes to Andario because from what you're telling me, and I don't think you have any reason to lie, especially at this point. you
Right.
know, like, that he was heavily aware of a lot of things and should definitely stepped in a lot earlier before we went down this downward spiral. Um, Knowing the live and how a lot of this started, and I hate to throw in Marlo on this and Ego, I really do believe if it wasn't for them running thine mouths, we wouldn't be here today. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I really don't feel no type of way. I mean, they were trying to defend their name for what I heard at least. So I mean, it's not the first time they've been on live. So I'm like, that was something normal. Like, it wasn't out the ordinary for them to, be on a live and speak their mind about it. So,
But to speak their mind in a way that laid claims for them paying for the season. It was very boastful. It was very grandstanding. It was very much like, look what we were able to do, not realizing the trickle effect that would take place after that, which is why we're here today. Do you think if they just
right.
would have shut the fuck up, that we would be here now?
I mean, honestly, you all had the information already. It was already being released. I think them kind of going against the grain of trying to skirt around the facts is what
Oh,
made
honey,
it.
let me tell you, I can't speak for anybody else, but I didn't start getting tea until well after that.
But I thought someone said they had it weeks ago. That's what I was
I had
like.
once that because that original live was like a week or two prior to the one we all were a part of. When
The
they started boasting, when they were drunk or high or whatever, child, they were boasting about. They were on one of our Kiki panels that we were having, and this was like maybe a week or two ago. And it was then that they were like, "Oh, they paying for the season, they doing this, and they paying for the reunion and all this other shit." And we were like, "Hold on, what?" So it really made our brains go into this is the first time we've heard of a cast, providing their own shit. She's getting a sponsorship. How does this work? So our minds start going. So once we started asking those questions out loud, that's when the floodgates open with receipts to make it all make sense for us. And
mm,
again, that is why we're here today.
okay, okay. Now I thought you were talking about the second line when you already had the information.
Uh, yeah, we didn't, honey. Once the floodgates open after that first, and once the leak was in the building, it was hard to plug it up, child. It just ran rampant through the castle.
Oh,
How do you
wait.
feel about cast members, production, or just anybody that's doing too much that could jeopardize a season as it has done for you? Like, do you have any advice for cast members, production, other people that need to be more professional on like how they need to be moving? Because it does seem to me that your quietness wasn't about not taking accountability because you were more than willing to take accountability, but you weren't really trying to have this displayed publicly because it really
Right,
is not none of our fucking business.
right.
So what do you have to say about that and like for future situations, like for people to just because I feel like again, Marlo, hate to step on your neck, baby, but if you just would have been quiet, I really do feel like we wouldn't be here now. Because even prior to that, there were a lot of leaks in the camp, people trying to come for y'all as producers and little tea being spilled here and there. And I just felt like these were the building blocks, whether people realize it or not, that would be the downfall of the season. And then when Damon got his platypus face ass over here to the Kiki panel where he hinted that there was a little disconnect between you and him, it made us open our minds even more like, oh wow, and it's evident throughout this season that there's that disconnect. So I know that you carry yourself with a little bit more cool than the other girls do. So any advice that you have or anything that you may have learned from this process that you'll take with you moving forward?
I mean, as far as me growing up, when it comes to internal or home drama, I've always been told like whatever happens at home stays at home. So
Mm,
for the come, publicly, I granted cast members, I don't stop them from ever, going live expressing how they feel. The only time I would ever stop them is if something is in your contract and you're kind of violating your contract. And I mean that has happened several times to where I'm getting notifications from people. This person did this person said this, and I have to go ahead and kind of reiterate to that the cast this is in your contract. You shouldn't be doing this. Granted, I should have had a better approach because it still kind of bit me in the ass, basically. Just allowing them to kind of go off and express how they feel and vent how they want to. That was even part of the issue that was noted and part of my termination to where I guess cast members were going to other producers and it was like that shouldn't be happening. I'm just like, okay, well, what do I do to stop this? Like, this wasn't told to me. Like, what should be their course of action to, stop them from doing things that they shouldn't be doing?
Mm. If you could turn back the hands of time, what would you have done differently to avoid being here today?
I would have asked more questions from an aspect of, again, there was really no training as far as how to handle situations, as far as guidance, I guess you could say. Like, of course, I was directed on how to do this show, as far as recording, filming, things like that. But then when it comes to the outside aspect of how do you, like, for instance, and the contract that I read for my cast, it says if they get in a fight, they're supposed to be terminated. Okay, so we had our first fight, first season. I asked, what do I do next? Um, Basically, they didn't have to get fired. My cast is looking at me like, well, why didn't they get fired? They fought. And I'm just like, well, I mean, I was told they don't have to be let go. But it's just like, I guess I should have asked more questions. I should have asked for some kind of training when it comes to things like this, how to handle certain situations. Because even with my cast being late, I asked Nari several times, like, what can I do in these cases when the cast is being late? He was like, oh, well, you can just tell them they're not filming. Okay, try that. That didn't work. Okay, what can I do about cast being late? Now I'm learning, oh, I could have cut their scenes. This is me finding out after I filmed everything. But I'm just like, I wish I would have known more of this stuff as I'm even before filming, like how to handle certain situations like this.
It seems to me that I think that you may know how to approach these situations. You just lack the confidence to execute. Could it be that because you have this docile spirit about you that people just feel like they could just do you any kind of way? And I'm not trying to like paint this picture that you a pussy ass nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that. I do understand that there are just those calm natured people that will kind of allow people to assert themselves over them and take total control, because everything that you've talked about, from this money situation to how things have been basically being able to be controlled without you, and how the cast wants to do what the fuck they want to do, like every other executive producer that I've known in this realm has an assertive personality, and they are
Right.
able to make things pop, drop, lock, shake, bake, all the things, girl, to make it happen. So do you agree with that? Maybe it is that get over nature that people sense about you.
So that can be partially true. And again, even in the beginning of me filming, I asked, like, Indaria, do you think this is something I really can do? Because, like, there were certain times I'm feeling like I don't think this is something I can really do. And Daria was like, you can do it, da 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 da. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, so I mean, again, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say you're right. But in certain cases, I did feel as though I can't handle this. And there was even a time me and Daria, we had a long text conversation. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for guidance because I'm kind of not knowing what to do. And it was just like I didn't get that help at that moment in that text message. Um, and so it's like even for them to say, "Oh, you kind of went ghost. You kind of just left after the first couple of episodes," and I'm like, rightfully so. I'm asking for help. I'm not getting it. I'm asking for somebody to be let go. I'm not getting it. So what do I do? Like, I can't quit as far as I know, because if I quit, I'm breaking my contract. I'm going to be sued. But if I keep going forward, I'm just still being stressed out. Things are starting to look horrible. So it's like, what do I do?
I think what you moving forward, obviously we can't change the past, but I think what it is just having more of um control over yourself. Like, you have to separate sometimes, like, you're the boss. These
All right.
people work for you, they work with you, whatever the case may be, whether it's a free platform or not. People are signing up to do a job, they're signing contracts. There's a certain level of assertiveness, like Miranda Priestley, honey, Devil Wears Prada vibes, that you sometimes have to activate on the girls just to let them know that you're not playing. And it seems to me that that played into the hands of Damon perfectly, because he was able to come in, create these relationships with the cast, usurp the throne by throwing you under the bus and creating these narratives about you. And, just moving forward, just in life, fuck the web reality space, because this shit ain't real. Let's just tell the truth. But in life, period, like, I really hope that you carry with you, like, don't let no hoe walk over you, talk over you, treat you any kind of way. It may not be in your nature to be rah rah, but not everybody has to be rah rah to get their point across.
That's true.
And I appreciate the time in the interview as well, but it shouldn't take an interview for you to speak your truth. Get in there and cuss these cunts out and give them that work, honey. Because when people are trying to satirize your name and make you look a certain way, and you've lost your position, and for a position that these hoes they weren't even able to lose because technically they don't even work for the platform. It just makes it easier. And I feel like the signs. What's your sign, by the way?
I'm a Libra.
Child, you supposed to catch this.
Yeah.
You are the literal symbol
There's
of
so
like
much going on. It's hard to, you know.
y'all be trying to balance everything, honey, and then the details get away from y'all, and then you're not able to nip shit in the bud when it needs to be.
Right.
And sometimes y'all can be a little bit too comfortable by letting other people, do things they probably shouldn't be doing. Um, I do feel for you, but on another level, there's that other part of me that's like, how old are you?
I'm 36. I
You are
know. I
grown.
know.
You are grown, honey. Honey, you are grown. Honey. While these girls are out here sucking dick in bathrooms, hello, God, while
We
they're
ain't
back
gonna talk about
fat,
the ones that do it in their mask, but that was another
porous out of a
person.
red dress, bitch. Hello, God. You are grown, doing grown folks things, and I feel bad because I feel like the throne was usurped. There was a lot of things against you that you probably didn't realize in the moment that ended up to be where we're at today. And I
Right.
feel bad for that because I liked season one and I really wanted to enjoy this season two, but there was just way too much going on um, to make it enjoyable the way that I think that you would have done it if left to your own devices. And if all
Right.
this drama wasn't surrounding this, like I feel like everything would have turned out much better. Again, I'm not gonna just blame Damon. I'm not gonna
Right.
just blame
Rightfully
you.
so.
I'm not gonna just blame Indario. It's a collective effort that I think fucked all of this up, to be honest with you.
Right.
Um, is there anything else that we haven't discussed that you wanted to bring up? Because I'm trying to go through my mind and my notes real quick.
I mean, we can speak on some of the allegations. I know there's been rumors about. I said I was in Alabama. I mean,
Okay.
I can send you the text message to where it said I was clearly here filming a scene with Gemini, and we were at Savoy. Like, that's no. Whenever I did not go to Alabama, so they even say I was there. Like, even me and Twan, we talked earlier today. We cleared that up. I sent him the text message showing where I said I'm in Alabama and I'm filming Remini. I mean, I'm not in Alabama. I'm in Orlando filming Remini. Can you? And I needed help filming her scene. You didn't get off work till 11 o'clock, so of course her show was at 10 o'clock. You're not going to make it in time to help film. So I needed help. Can we pay this person to come help me? I mean, I don't know where the lie was caught in that at, but
Hmm. Okay. Sorry. Tea is being spilled, child, but I can't corroborate. Yeah, y'all. If I can't corroborate tea, I don't get into it. Sorry. Appreciate the tea though, but I can't corroborate it, so I don't bring it up. Yeah. Sorry, I can't corroborate that tea, baby. Thank you though. Um, I think people just really wanted to hear about the accountability. Guys, he's already done that a couple of times. He actually did it in our initial conversation on the Kiki panel about it. He took full accountability of everything. I think it's safe to say, at least from my perspective, I have seen the receipts that he speaks of in terms of the money that he received. Um, by all accounts, it appears as if he did what he was supposed to do with his coin. The account owner, on the other hand, has a lot of explaining to do as it relates to all of these transactions and moving of funds. Um, because, girl, that's a lot of food. There was another thing I definitely wanted to clear up. I know we brought it up a while ago,
Okay.
But people have been standing on my neck about this. And again, you can feel free to speak to this if you want to or not. Is there something going on between you, cast members, and clients when it comes to you coming on to them?
Right idea, wrong producer. That's already been even discussed amongst my cast. The man has insinuated he's messed with a cast member, or they may have dated, whatever, whatever. But yeah, that was never my case. Like that would never. Again, I'm a professional. Like I'm not going to cross those lines between me and my dating life or even my personal life and business. Like I'm not going to cross those lines. So that never happened. Never will happen.
Okay. I just wanted to, I had to reiterate, child, for the people.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on 1 second, honey. I do have a question.
What happened?
You probably can't even speak to it either, but
What's
there's
the
a deposit here from GoDaddy.com.
GoDaddy? Like the website? The
Yeah, it says payroll.
I'm not sure what that is.
It's for the amount of $1,079.54.
Was that that's a deposit?
That's an ACH deposit
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
for August 21st. Again, for all I know, he could be using his personal funds in this account too, which is horrible business. Trust me, I had to learn the hard way with my side business, child. Do not wrap your personal funds in the business funds because,
Right.
girl, it's a lot.
So I wonder if that's another name for, OnlyFans. Again, I don't know. I don't have OnlyFans, but I mean, that's what that could be.
GoDaddy.com payroll
Well, you said 1,000 and something, though. That's a lot.
a
I don't think
thousand seventy
that's
nine.
on
I didn't know
OnlyFans.
GoDaddy pays anybody.
Well,
I don't know. There's a lot going on here, and I really do. Again, I just want this to be the end of it. I know that shout out to the Kiki panel we'll have tomorrow. I know Damon, also known as Platypus Face, will be coming on to speak whatever vile poureth out of those disgusting ass lips of his. Um, but girl, at this point, I'm over it. To be honest with you, I
mm,
wanted to provide a level of closure. I wanted to also create a space for Zach to speak his truth and to kind of clear things up and I know this line of questioning was kind of everywhere, but I really wanted to get into the meat and the potatoes of all of the allegations, all the tea, the mess, the shade of it all, and again give you. I feel like you were very clear in how you presented yourself, and and everything else. You seem to not have a worry about the receipt situation. You turned yours in, and just so we're clear, what was the basis of your termination?
I mean, there were several factors that played into it. Again, some are even new to me. I know there was mention of I didn't find a venue in time, which is like that was never a part of my contract for one. And two, we had already been discussing different venues. There was one I wanted in particular, so I had already been speaking with the venue owner as far as like working out dates and times and things like that. Of course, I was still looking at other venues just in case that didn't work out. I mean, I've sent those screenshots even so we talked about that in our group chat. I mean, we did FaceTime while I'm in the venue. So to even say I didn't secure one in time, I mean, we it's not that I wasn't even to say I was not even looking for a venue is like kind of crazy. I mean, there was a couple of other things as well. I know that was one that was kind of publicized. about it and like tried to make me seem lazy for not finding a venue. When of course y'all had evidence. I'm looking at venues. I'm talking with venue owners. So it's like, yeah.
Was
And
there any
for that to be in
mention
there was
about?
never in my contract. What happened?
Was there any mention of financial impropriety in your termination letter?
I believe so. I mean, I
Hmm.
can put up and look, but yeah, I believe so. Actually, it's on my email.
Hmm. I, I
Yeah,
still
funding
feel.
allocation. So yeah,
You say what?
I said funding allocation. So yeah, in regards to the money not being into a chasing account.
But that's his fault as well, though.
I mean,
That's Damon's fault, but ultimately, if what y'all, because both times, again, I'm not just leaning on what you're telling me. I'm leaning on what I was able to interpret from that ultimate legendary live on the Kiki panel, where there were conversations hinting towards the fact that all parties were aware of certain situations. This check, again, June, went all the way into August. The funds were depleted even before y'all physically went on the trip. So how is it that you're the one going down for misappropriation of funds?
somebody has to take the downfall. So that's how they feel. Somebody has to be their scapegoat. I guess you could say.
I can't. I really can't. Because am I the only one that's able to see the forest through the trees, child?
What do you mean?
I'm just like, again, if we're paying attention to everything that people are saying and how they're acting and the behaviors behind it, I'm just coming up with the fact that everyone seemed to be very aware. If people didn't give a fuck until it became public knowledge, that's what it's giving.
Mm.
That's what it's giving. And the girls like Platypus Face felt like, oh, I can just stroll around because no one's gonna, clock it. There's not gonna be a conversation about it. It seemed like Andaria was low key okay with you with this whole money situation from the time y'all got it until the time it got the fuck spent. And the only reason people care about it is because it was brought up on the live. And there seems to be a bunch of backpedaling and pussy popping. And now you're the one that has. And again, I'm not gonna lie. If I said it a couple of times, and I'll say it again while you're here. From the first hint of impropriety, all of y'all are fired.
Yeah.
Actually, the cats would have been wiped clean as well. So by no means am I letting you or anybody else skate by. I just think this there's collective knowing, and when people collectively know and then turn around and act like they didn't know shit, that's weird to me. And we're not talking about new business. We're talking about old business. Y'all been doing, not you, but they've been doing this kind of stuff. So my thing is, why is it a problem now? As soon as it was said, oh, there should have never been no conversation about a separate bank account, whether from his lips, your lips, or in Dario's lips. The protocol has always been release the funds into the Chasing Reality account. Whoever name on it should not matter because legally speaking, you have the power to sign over a check to another bitch.
Mm.
Period. End of story. All we wouldn't be here today if that was handled on the right path. If certain cast members shut the fuck up and people just kind of like get into the show. People
Right. I
want to
mean,
cut
we wouldn't be
people out
here
like
in the
me.
beginning. We knew he wasn't going to put the money in his account, and I could have fired him. We wouldn't be here now. Like so.
I
Again,
agree
we
with
wouldn't
that.
even be here when he got into fights with cast members. If I could have let him go in, we would not be here.
But my thing is too, Zach, to be real with you though, and I gotta push back. You are literally, and Dario said it. You're saying you're the boss. He's technically not even employed. He's the help. He's the Walmart greeter during Christmas time. Welcome to Whoville, bitch. Like you should have let him go the moment. Fucking what Andario says, because is he coming down every day to Orlando to help you out? No.
Again, I've been said several times. I want to let him go. I was told to wait. even to let him go is like I don't know the process. So I'm like, if I'm telling you I want to let him go, I mean, of course,
But
going to tell you the next step.
he's not contractually obligated to the platform. So
Again,
it should have been easy to let his ass go.
but again, I don't know these roles. So if you're already listed as a producer, again, I don't even know if you ever signed a contract with Indario because again, I never signed anything for you. So again, you're listed as producer. So I don't know if Indario had you sign a contract or not.
I just,
I'm not trying to take push the blame off, but I'm just
no,
saying
I
what
get you.
happened.
But you could understand why people like me and people in the chat would feel that way. Like you literally are the head bitch in charge.
But I didn't feel like it at all. Even when it came down to my reunion, no shade to Antoine. I mean to Twan at all. No shade to him. But I'm like, I wanted to have a second host. I suggested different people. No, we can't have this person. No, you can't have that person. Well, what control do I have?
Oh. Mm. So it
Because again,
seems
I
like
love Twan. Me and Twan had this conversation. I know what you bring. I love what you bring. I want you to bring, a little ratchetness. Of course, we and Twan had that conversation. No problem. Even in my head, my cast was saying we should have a second host. I already was talking to a second person about being the host. But yet, when I bring up different names, I'm being told I can't have this person. I can't have that person. So it's like, well, I have no issues with these people. So why can't I have these people if this is my brand? I mean, my franchise.
mm. Well, I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier. It's just the energy. And if people feel as if they can use you and abuse you, they're going to do just that. And I think by them sensing that they can just take you over on every aspect of life, they're going to do what they need to do. Because at the end of the day, Andario needed someone to do his franchise in Orlando. And, I don't want to say what other people might be thinking, but it seems to me a scheme set up by Todd to to usurp your throne and to put other people in place. No one expected things to get this public or out of control. Us meddling kids, hello, shout out to the Scooby Gang, bitch, got all in the business and shook the tree of life. And now the girls are squandering and wandering around for loose change in those old thrift store couches of theirs, honey. Um, and it's a shame really because I don't even like having these kinds of interviews or conversations. I would have loved to get on here and have an old background story, what got you into this, what got you into that. You seem like a very nice person. You seem
I
like
just
you have
want to clear my name because when you started saying I'm stealing money, I'm doing this. Sir, I have a whole photography business. Like, why do I have to steal? Like, I have a brand. I'm sorry, you don't have nothing but OnlyFans with you in a mask, but that's none of my business. But I'm still sorry. Like, that's all you have going for yourself. The cast has already went live saying you do coke. The cast has already said you don't have a house, you don't have a car. I'm sorry if I have something going for myself. So, like, I don't know
I
what.
saw the pictures. I saw the pictures, honey. Let me tell you one thing I will say about platypus face, honey. That mouth opens onto the honey. She's an old nasty piece of depth, honey. Mama can gargle, guzzle, slurp, swallow, throw, honey. Girl, she kills me. She trying to be like Trade Girl. She got a little red mask on and decent little piece. She got a nice little booty hole too, child. I guess, child,
I
whatever,
just saw
girl.
the screenshot of the profile. So yeah.
girl, girl, they say she on Sniffy's girl down to Dallas.
Oh wow.
She's ready to party and play, girls. So load her up.
Not load her up.
Load her up, girl. They say she's ready to play, girl, and she's giving down low trade, girl. She got the mask on. She got she look like she smelled like old stale ass Black and Miles, girl. She got the little fingertip stains, girl, that go right along with it with her blunt when she put out when she's smoking them roaches, bitch. Hello, God. Yes, girl. Mama, but Mama was handling that piece of meat. I'll give her things, honey. Mama
Oh,
was handling.
I do not
Let us
the
not
visual right
find
now.
out that she was out here misappropriating funds, girl, to pay for these boys to suck their dicks like other Rico casserole ass built bitches. Girl, stop it, I say.
Oh, gosh.
Mm. Child. Girl, that's really what the girls needed all that space and opportunity for in New Orleans. Let's just tell the truth. Marlo already said the girls were sharing one bathroom to Fleet before they met Trade. Hello, gone. They already
But
said hepatitis juices were flowing around throughout the ceiling. Girl, hello, gone.
I
Y'all
mean, a
out
lot
here.
of things were cut out. So
They needed all the things needed, required, and desired to get those booty holes and those throats. Hello, God. Used and abused by anonymous red dress trade. Stop it, I say. Girl, this is what all this is again goes to what I'm saying. I'm going to end it here, and I just really want to tell y'all this again. As I prepare myself to leave this space, when it comes down to the top three people as of right now, you will never get another like of myself, Harviana, or TTB. No matter what you think about us, collectively, individually, this stuff right here will never be able to happen again. Once we bow out of this space, it is over, people. Okay? And I'm asking the questions that people have asked. I'm asking the questions that I have. I am, knocking on particular doors for a very specific reason. A lot of these people, even though I feel how I feel about Platypus Face and Moose Carcass, the girls they stand up and they speak. Okay, whether if it's a bunch of lies and bullshit, the girls still stand up and speak. And again, Zach, this goes to you, not just in this part, but in life, period, baby. Please stand up. This world is cold and frigid. There's a lot of evil doing ass bitches out here. Their only hard on in life is to ruin others. Again, not saying that's what these people did to you. I'm not putting that on them, but I'm just saying
mhm.
in life, period. And if they sense a kind spirit or spirit that says, hey, I'll bow down or I'll let you get over, they're going to suck you dry until there's nothing left of you, baby. So
Right.
please, as you move forward, especially in the realm of web reality, deal with all these messy cunts. Be prepared, honey. The table should have been prepared before you in the presence of your enemies a long time ago. So
Right.
if you really want to do, I think you have a knack for this. I loved season one of Orlando. I saw the potential with the second season as well, which I think was mostly you. Because personally, I can do without a bunch of mess and foolishness. I think if you decide to do something moving on down the road, please just take what you have learned from this experience and from what people like myself are telling you. And people in the chat, no matter what their grievances is, people are saying you just need to stand up for yourself because
Right.
if given
So
an opportunity, people will fuck you over and sell you up the river, baby. Oh, Markel said 86 TV is hiring.
I guess that's right before Demond. I guess Demond ain't this in Dallas. I mean, he's in Dallas.
I don't think Demond would be a good fit. Markel would not deal with that. I don't think Markel will be able to deal with that fool. He don't want nothing.
Mm.
I don't know, but you're in Orlando, so I don't even know how that would work. So
Right.
but anything you decide to do later on down the road, just take that with you. Don't let things bleed off into the streets of life because it can carry a life of its own. I want to reiterate this. I don't even want to be here. I don't even want to have these conversations. Does my spirit love a little mess here and there? Yes, the hell it does. And the only reason that my hook Hello God was able to get this far into these depthy ass waters is because once I smell fakery fuckery and potential fraudulence, I get interested, and it goes to why this season has been the failure that it is, and it will go down as a season. There's no reunion. Am I correct in that as well?
There's not going to be reunion held through Chasing Reality, unfortunately.
Oh, so are you hinting that there will be one just without the name?
I mean, we don't know right now. Only time will tell.
And the cast ends up suffering for that as well. The hard work that they've put in, they're not able to sit down at their reunion and do it. So there's a lot of cause and effect, and I want everyone. This isn't about getting on Zach or getting on Platypus Face Child or any. It's for all of these girls to learn. Please learn, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when the big three exit the space, myself, Harviana, and TTB, there will be no one up here to provide balance, truth, and justice conversations in depthly to the point where we can all have understanding. The next girls are probably not going to give a fuck, and they're going to let the narrative spin out of control, and it's just going to be what it is.
Mm.
So I just want to say that, honey. Is there anything else that you would like to get into before? What's next for you? Do you have an idea on what's next? If you want to even be in this realm anymore? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
For me right now, I'm taking a break. I mean, I'm still doing my photography. That's no problem. Still doing my baking. It's Christmas season, so still doing that on the side. But I mean, as far as videography or anything in that realm, I'm taking a break. Getting back
Hold
to
on. You say
traveling.
you bake?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you, so
Yeah.
you know you have to do your thing.
Yes.
What do you like cakes and shit?
Yes.
Okay.
Cakes, pies. Yeah. So.
Okay.
But I mean, outside of that, Christmas is over. Yeah, I'm definitely taking a break, getting back to traveling. Like, yeah.
Okay. How long you been doing the baking?
I mean, my mom got me into it when I was little, so it's just when I moved to Orlando, that's when I kind of got. If it could be a business, I can make money from it. Why not do it?
Where are you from?
I'm from Fort Myers.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, real little small country. Yeah.
Okay. I know some people out there with some big old dicks. Shout out to the Fort
Hey.
Myers town. Shout out to Craig. You know who you are, nigga. Hello God. Shout out to Craig, honey. Craig knows who he don't watch none of this stuff, so I can say what I need to say. I'm not exposed to nobody. Shout out to Craig, peg leg Craig, honey. Hello God. Okay. Mama misses you. Where art thou?
Mm.
Hello. Yes, girl. Okay. Um, do you have an education in media or anything like that?
No, self-taught. Backstory: my dad was a photographer, so it's like I kind of picked that up from him. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. And how long and what were you actually doing with chasing reality prior to being the EP? What was your actual position with them?
Cameraman.
Okay. Okay. How did that work? Were you always living in Florida? Or did you live in Atlanta too?
No, so season two reunion, again, I was not involved in reality TV at all, but one of
Okay.
my friends was like, "Hey, they're hiring for cameraman. You should go apply." I was like, "Okay, I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't mind. I like doing what I do. It's no issue." But so I was like, "Okay, sure. I'll check out the episode. I'll watch it, see what it's all about." I watched it. I liked it. I loved it. I don't mind going to Atlanta helping y'all out, like if I can, whenever, whatever. So that's kind of how that started. I know it's Atlanta, I think season two or season three, whatever. It got to where Daria was just the only one over it. So then he kind of reached out to me, was like, "Hey, do you want to come help us film, whatever, whatever?" Yeah, sure. I have no problem doing that. Like, I like what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I don't mind helping the brand.
Do you think that you deserve a second chance if given a second chance? And would you take that chance?
I wouldn't take it as producer. I mean, executive producer. No, I
Mm.
wouldn't mind producer role or even camera person, but I don't think I would take it as executive producer again.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Hmm. Can you pinpoint a moment in this season that you genuinely enjoyed, though?
This season, I would definitely say the murder mystery game because again, it turned out even looking at it on TV, it was like it turned out really good. They really loved it. They really enjoyed it. Even looking at some of the behind the scenes videos that I have, I'm like, yeah, they really had a good time.
Mm. In season one?
Season one, I love overall just because of the fact, again, we were able to tell their stories from beginning to end, and I
Mm.
love that. Like the world really got to know these people. It's like
Mm.
this season they really didn't get that opportunity. That's why you feel as though the cast they have so much they still want to say. They still want to have a reunion, and I'm like, rightfully so. Y'all should still feel that way. Y'all should still have that opportunity. Even me, like I spoke to Daria Wednesday, and I'm like, I at least thought I would still get a reunion,
Right.
but I mean,
Now, although you've been, severed from the company, child, do you still get your percentage after the season does what it does in the numbers, or how does that work? Do you still?
no.
Why?
From what it was stated to me, once I'm terminated, all access, all funds, that's all cut off as well.
So, as an executive producer, Did you get paid for season one after everything was said and done? Did you get a cut of the viewership from
Up
YouTube?
to a certain date, yes.
Uh, but this go around, you're not getting anything.
Right.
And do you think that's fair?
Honestly, no. But again, situation has happened. I let the situation happen. I can't do nothing but take the consequences for it.
No, I hear you. Honestly, Zach, I think because this space has been
And
so
let me be clear also as well, because I keep people kept saying I get paid 12,000. That did not happen. Again, I can reference even my season one, even my last 4 episodes. I got paid one time this year already. That wasn't even over $500 to be honest, and that was only from 4 episodes. So I mean, you can do the math between the views and what I get paid. So again, it's not about the money for me. Like again, this is just opportunity for one to have people to be able to tell their story, and then also to be in this role, saying that I have this experience now. But again, do I even want it now? Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's all learning. I think because this web space has become so, small now, and we do need a Floridian type of representation in that regard. I think maybe sit down with yourself, take the time you need to, think things through, but definitely consider coming back in your own web series if possible. Create something for your own, and put
Yeah, I've
people
had
on.
people
And
reaching out to me, but like again, like I said, I just kind of want to take a little break, for my mental at least, because again, this has been a lot. So I definitely want to take a little break and then see how I feel. Maybe I want to get back into it. Only time will tell.
if not, just become a regular person, huh?
Right. Like
Okay.
again, I didn't have all this drama being a regular person before. I still had my name. I still had my brand. People in Orlando knew me. People in Orlando love me. So I don't. Yeah, there's not a big what you do for me.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Any final words for the people, child?
I mean, I do want to thank my cast again. They did not deserve this, so I definitely do want to thank my cast for all the hard work they put into this. Good, better, and different. They really showed themselves this season.
Mm,
So
that's what's up. Because this is probably going to be the last time we see you.
probably, probably.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to actually sit down with you, even beyond the mess that we had to get through. But I
All right,
do appreciate it. I know I didn't get much. I didn't get any interaction. Season one. I think you kind of enjoyed being the background, and
exactly.
I've always respected people that prefer that.
Yeah,
Um,
I was never the one for attention. I mean, again, you saw him every live y'all did. He was there. Again, I'm not doing this for a reputation. I'm doing this just for me. Like, I don't need to get the popularity. I don't need all of that information. I don't need the attention. Like, so
No, I hear you, and I respect that a lot. And I think more people need to kind of adopt that mindset and way of thinking because, honey, it'll save y'all in the end. Again, we as commentators, YouTubers, whatever you want to call us, y'all, we got jobs to do, and it's up to y'all to, I'm going to reiterate again, just professionalism. Do y'all want to have these conversations and not realizing what the implications could be that could have people walking down these very narrow roads that you ain't trying to have us discover your shit?
mm,
So I stand by what I said. That definitely should have been a conversation y'all had privately. Obviously, there was a conversation that took place months and months and months ago, and again, I just fully believe that the girls were trying to save face, child, to be very real, and at the end of it, throw you under the bus. Hopefully, Damon has been thrown under several buses and rolled down a couple of hills. Hopefully, Roliana Rebel also rolled over that bitch's neck and broke her knees. That way, she can't put her
okay.
decrepit mouth on another dick in this life again. Hello, God. And that's all I really have, child. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the reviewers and the platforms out here that have, talked about your platform, whether good, bad, ugly, child? Would you any message you have for any of us?
Again, when it comes to the reviewers, again, I don't take it personal because again, this was a learning experience for me. So even the critiques that you all had, yes, from time to time I do listen, I do hear what you all are saying just so I can better myself if I do this again. So I'm grateful for you all. Like it was, I think the only time it took it personal was just when people started saying, "Oh, he doesn't have a car. He doesn't, da da da." And I'm like, child, I spend such and such amount of money on an Uber each month. Like I have no issue getting around. That's the only thing I think I took offense to because again, you are supposed to review the show, but y'all attacking me personal. No complaints, no issues, but I'm just stating facts. Like y'all trying to attack me personal, but y'all don't have all the facts. Not you per se. I'm just saying in
No,
general.
even if it was me, I can take it, baby. I can take it. I understand. It can't. I always try to. I get it. I had it out with some girl from the same ATL. She came over and started. She didn't like some of the things that I said about her. We going back and forth in the comments, and at the end, I was like, "Girl, I respect you for defending yourself. Speak your truth. If someone is talking bad about you or putting you in a not so good of light, stand. I respect people who stand up for themselves. Whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, I'm always at least one of the people that can admit that shit. So, you know, um, I'm good with that. If you wanted to read me, please feel free. Now, can you escape with your life? I don't know. By now, the girls know how I roll. So, but I do appreciate you, and I appreciate people like you that want to give clarity and understanding to a very chaotic, convoluted situation.
Right. Yeah.
As my mind goes back at our conversations through here, I'm just wondering how this replay is going to sound because it does seem kind of everywhere. But I think if people listen and pay attention, you'll be able to, put it all together. Um, and make the assumptions that are needed. And I don't really think there's any assumption that needs to be needed other than it's obvious what was done to you. It's obvious what you allowed to be done to you, just to be fair.
Right.
Um, you know that, you've recognized that now. And I believe, moving forward, if you decide to come back into this space, you will definitely be moving accordingly with thicker skin and more of a uh, strict, assertive demeanor to let
Yeah.
these girls know that, bitch, you got the wrong one.
Right.
Because you talking about Zach attacked, girl, you need to be attacking the hell out of these bitches, Zach.
I got you.
But okay. All right. Well, I definitely appreciate you. And again, if this is the last time that we're able to meet, please feel free to stay in communication. I'm a fellow Floridian. I'm
Okay.
quite sure I can always use some, photography. People been telling me I need to get some pictures taken anyway, because
Okay.
I got a whole bunch of outdated shit from my fat life.
What part
So,
of Florida are you in?
huh?
What part of Florida are you in?
I don't say that publicly,
Oh,
but
okay.
where
Gotcha.
are you at
Oh,
right now?
I'm in Orlando.
Okay, I'm about three 3 hours away.
Okay.
Two
Okay.
2 to 3 hours away from you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm close enough. I know the other whore, she done moved to Dallas, girl, but she better be lucky she don't live here no more because, girl, I would take that ride, bitch.
Oh,
Gas is under $3 a gallon now, ho. Hello,
well,
God.
screenshot I got. She'll be here the 9th through the 10th. So, I mean, that might be your opportunity.
That'll be a cute
That's what,
early birthday gift for me, too.
oh.
Hmm. I have to think about that. Then again, I don't have time. I know how Orlando cunts get. Y'all like to jump the girls. If I come up there for platypus face, if y'all step in it, Sister Mary Clarence and her sister and fellow Christ
Nah,
bitch are gonna let loose on y'all hoes. So if you
baby, I
value
will
your
pull out
life,
the camera. Let's go ahead and go live with this.
period. Chasing ass whoopings, brought to you by YB Speaks, honey. Hello, God. Anyway, again, I do appreciate you, and we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here because I do have, a table to prepare before me in the presence of trade. Hello, God,
Okay.
and I'm sure you have a busy weekend ahead of you as well. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're very welcome, and thank you for trusting me with your truth. I
No
appreciate it.
problem.
All right. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming. I genuinely appreciate you coming through. I understand a lot of you may be a little bit disappointed that there was not a question section. If you know me and know me well, I don't normally do that when I have my one-on-ones. I do leave it up to the guest to choose if they want to respond to comments. I did advise Zach in order for us to stay on track to kind of like lean away from that as I do. But I do appreciate you guys. I will probably do a follow up at some point, I have to go live tomorrow to do my review of the season finale episode. So maybe we'll get into some things over there if you guys want to hop on, and we'll talk about all the things that happened today in this interview with
What
the
time
great.
are you doing that?
I'm sorry.
What time are you doing that tomorrow?
Probably around 4. I try to do it a couple hours before our Kiki panel.
Okay, okay,
So tune in if you want to pop up over there too, and you answer some questions for people if you want to. That's up to you.
okay.
I usually reserve my more one-on-one intimates with just this, and if you want to come back later on and answer some of the questions from the girls, please feel
I'm
free.
sure there'll be a lot of feedback from this. So I'm sure there'll be other lives, other viewpoints that try to get other narratives spent. So we may
I
have to
mean,
come.
and I just want people to know this because, as far as we know, Orlando is canceled. It's done.
Mhm.
Um, I fit this in for today because we have the season finale that came out there. Well, technically Friday. Um, we have this situation with Zach. We've had Damon making his rounds around the world and honey, hello, gone. Um, and we have the Kiki panel where Platypus Face will be joining tomorrow.
Oh,
Knowing that we're not having a reunion and I just wanted all of this to be over and done with because there's no need to carry this beyond the new year. Hello. Huh. There's no need. There's no need to at all. I think a lot of truth, a lot of justice has been served. I think a lot of tea has been revealed onto thee. I think a lot of people are no longer blind. They can now see. We have everyone's explanations. It is up to the people in the court of public opinion to determine on their own. But I do feel like we got all the clarity we need. Hopefully tomorrow we get more than what we've already got from Platypus Face. I highly doubt it, but nonetheless, we'll get into it, honey. Okay, we still got a job to do, but hopefully, again, this will be the end of it all. But stay tuned tomorrow for my live review of Chasing Orlando, the season finale, episode 10. And again, Zach, thank you. Chat, thank you. People catching the replay, thank you so much. Shout out to the super chats that were given. Any contribution to the platform, whether you're liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, girl, or donating to the platform monetarily, is very much appreciated. Be blessed and never stressed. And remember that health is truly wealth. And until the next video, guys, take care. Bye.